What's up, guys? It's Micah McDonald, millionaire mogul, real estate developer, serial entrepreneur. Today, we are in New York City. We're going to do a few things today. You're going to get some behind the scenes, but we've got to start the day with some conference calls. Obviously, got to hit the gym for the second time. I've already been once. And then we're going to go into Central Park and do some other fun stuff. We're on a mission to find a bicycle. Going to Central Park, explore, find the hidden castles. City bikes gotta make a killing out here with all these though. Are we doing electric or manual? I've never done this before. Yo, this is capitalism at its finest. There's something about New York and people trying to make money. No matter where in the world I'm at or how busy I am, the number one thing that's a non-negotiable for me always is the gym. I'm never negotiating with myself. I'm never giving myself excuses. I've been this way now consistently for about 3.5 years, and it's the single most thing that's changed my life. It gives you confidence, discipline, continue to do hard things every single day. I'm in the gym killing it every day, once, a lot of times twice a day, doing 2 a days. I don't believe in the days off of rest. I don't give myself rest days. You don't need them. I know a lot of fitness gurus will tell you otherwise, but for me, you don't need them. It's a mental thing more than it is a physical thing. But every day I'm in the gym, I'm training, and I train hard. We're going about an hour and a half to sometimes 2 hours every day. But I use it for mental clarity, to relieve stress, obviously to stay in shape, to look good and to feel good. So it's the only non-negotiable. I plan my entire day around the gym. Today we're going to train some legs. Today I do legs twice a week. It's how I get some growth in legs. Up until I started doing twice a week, I was never getting really growth that I was happy with. So we're going to train some legs today. A lot of compound movements, heavy weights. I'm in an 8-week split that's all heavy right now to try to build a little bit of muscle while staying lean. So that's today's workout. You know, a great place to start, again, if you want to think about that foundation whenever you're becoming an entrepreneur or anything that you're doing in life, you have to create a strong foundation that is on discipline, and that's all working out is. So that's why it's such an important thing for me, is I've got to stay disciplined. I've got to have a strong mind, strong body. And think about it in the business world. Are you going to be more willing to work with somebody or maybe trust somebody or go into business with somebody that you can tell takes care of themselves, right? Same way they would take care of the business or your money if you're an investor, things like that. So not in all cases, obviously, but I mean, you want to work with people that you feel like take things seriously. And there's no better indicator for somebody who can put in the work than someone who's in great shape. Sometimes a lot of people say that they don't work out because the hotel gyms and things like that, when they're on the road or hard, can't get a good workout in. But that's where you got to be a little creative, be a little bit flexible with your workout. Take machines that aren't typically for certain exercises and make them for the exercise that you want. Obviously, that goes in business as well, being able to be quick on your toes, think quickly, be decisive, make decisions.
All right, guys, we're here in New York City, 2024.
The Big Apple.
The Big Apple with Micah.
Billionaires Road. my favorite line of buildings.
Absolutely. Micah, how do you feel about being here in New York? And I know you had some really cool stories coming up here in New York.
I love New York City. There's an energy and a vibe here that's like no other. From the second I touch down, I mean, whether you're in the park and you hear the saxophone player, whether you're walking by the hot dog stands, pizza by the slice going, get that bagel sandwich. Like, I mean, there's an energy to it that if just drives you to just want to be out there doing things. I like it just, and you have to do things fast here as well. So I love being here. It's my favorite city in the U.S. right now.
All right, so we're gonna ask you some questions right now about what it takes to be an entrepreneur doing 50, 100 mil and get into the big leagues. So let's get into it.
You're gonna want to tune into this.
So Micah, I know you know in any business, right, in order for the business to succeed, you gotta have a great product that solves a specific problem for a specific, customer, right? I think a lot of people out there may be related to kind of testing different businesses, but what does it really take to cross that first million? And then, is there a difference in the vehicle or opportunity you choose or the type of business you choose to get to numbers like 50 mil versus just like
when you were selecting agencies and the consulting, did you have a target in mind saying I'm trying to get to, so if you want to hit that million mark a year, right, you're going to need 100, 120 a month. When you were making those selections, was that your target in mind? Was hitting that $1 million a year? Because I think that's a lot of things. A lot of people say, $1 million, and then they look at their model, their business model, and they're starting, I think, too small.
Sure.
And to me, it's almost okay. I've got to get to $100,000 a month, and what's the best way to do that? And is it one way or several ways? And how much time does each one take? When I was trying to figure out how to kind of go from that $1 million to $10 million mark, I was spending so much time in one particular business that wasn't predominantly scalable. Sure. And thinking I'm somehow going to work my way work more and get to that amount. And it just wasn't realistic or scalable. Instead of saying, okay, I've got this going and it's really a $20,000 a month business.
Sure.
Who can I put in place to continue to manage that for me? But I've got to figure out how to do 5 more other $20,000 businesses, and are they scalable? Can I grow them? Sure. If you're just sit there and continue to just work, you're not going to be able to scale it to anything. You're going to, and realistically, if you're in businesses that aren't scalable, how are you going to reach that goal?
Yeah. So I think something that stands out from what you just said is it seems like leverage, right? So if you could build a business where you can get yourself out of that business, maybe multiply it a couple of times over, then you could get to that 100K.
It's always scalability. It's scalability. So, and it's a bit of, it's a bit of research too. You can go do a little bit of research and see which businesses generate the most revenue, and which ones you can replicate. They trade businesses are amazing. They're not sexy. They're not flashy. But if you want to become a millionaire, we can go find 2 or 3 plumbing companies right now, buy them, operate them a little bit more efficient, create a subscription business behind them, and I guarantee you're going to be making 100, 200 a month.
Okay. Well, a good follow-up to that then. Let me ask you this. So I think something that I've personally heard a lot from maybe these online gurus, right, is before...
Online gurus.
Right?
Online gurus.
So something I've heard a lot is before you can leverage out of a business, you have to build all those skill sets yourself. Is there a play where you can, be smart, be tactical, buy into something, maybe like you said, touch it up, fix it up, and kind of a flip? Or do you have to, as an entrepreneur, go through the 5, 6, maybe 7 years or more of building the skill sets yourself? Is there a be smarter kind of play here, or does every entrepreneur have to go through those 7 years? Because I guess in my case, for sure, I definitely went through a good 5, 6 years of just trying to figure it out, right?
Before I go into that, do the online gurus work? For someone who's weird, because when I never paid attention to any of that, right?
Sure.
I think there's basic common sense and things that a lot of people know, right? There's so many fitness gurus, but work out, burn more calories than you consume. I guarantee you're going to lose weight and be more fit and active. It's not that hard, right? So do those gurus, work? I would say no. There's some common sense things that make achieving your goals more practical.
Yeah.
And the idea of saying, hey, I've got to go through all of these 10 steps because that's what this book told me or that's what this person told me, I don't think is true at all. And there's examples of it across the board of people who skyrocketed quickly from people who grinded it out forever and they'd never become anything.
Yeah.
So I don't think you have to go through all of those steps. But you do have to be extremely disciplined, diligent, and continuing to move forward.
Yeah.
I mean, they say that some of the worst decisions are the ones that you just don't make, or they take too long to make. I mean, one thing that I'm quick. I'm decisive. I make a decision and I go forward. Maybe it's the wrong decision, but you're hanging out waiting 6 months to make one. I've already made 5 decisions, and I'm that much further along when you're trying to go through the paths that someone else have told you need to.
Yeah. I think a good follow-up to this then is, beyond taking obviously massive action, did you ever at any point have a mentor? Because here my thinking is, if you're trying to get to somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Why don't you find someone who's done it, learn from them, and then you're gonna shave 10 years off, right?
Yeah.
By learning from them. So in your journey of getting to where you're at today, did you ever have a mentor at all?
That concept's amazing when you have access to those things. So it right? And that's the key. And the truth is, the majority of people don't.
Absolutely, yeah. When
The majority of the people in the business world, entrepreneurs, they don't have access to people like that. I had access to a bunch of, I call them mentors, but they were all people I didn't want to be like. There were plenty of those people around because there weren't a lot of good examples. I would say from a standpoint of being a man and things like that, of course my father was an old school generation. Work hard, go to university, graduate, get a job, work for a corporation, retire. So, that's not me. If I needed a role model for that would have been great. That would have been fine. I didn't have access to people like that. I mean, there wasn't a lot of online access, and as much as there's so many gurus now, but even now, following those types of people, they're fake. They're fraud. So you got to be making sure you attach to the right ones, just like in anything. So if you don't have access to people like that, then what are you supposed to do? You got to just figure it out. I mean, I didn't have any of those mentors growing up. To me, again, when I landed in New York City, I was figuring it out. I was walking into a meeting, I would watch movies and clips of boardrooms and stuff like that to get myself in the mindset of how I'm supposed to act in a boardroom.
Yeah.
Literally, almost acting like if I was watching this on TV and I'm my character, like how would I want to act? That's how I didn't know how to be. I would just observe and try to figure it out. I didn't have access to anything like that. So if you don't have access to that and you're waiting for it, or you are looking at people that actually haven't done anything with themselves and those are your mentors, you're going to attach it onto the wrong people. You're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, I think it's very similar to the concept of don't go to university and study business. If you just start and fail 7 times, you're going to learn a lot more, right? Just through that massive action that you would take yourself,
How are you going to learn business from most people who's never started a business?
Absolutely. Or they're selling you the business model, right? But not the they're not doing it themselves.
No, they're not doing it themselves. They're trying to tell you the steps that develop a business plan.
Yeah.
So I've seen so many business plans that come across, and you can put the best business plans don't mean anything.
Sure.
And there's more, it's drive and passion within you, and if you have that inside of you, you're going to figure it out regardless.
Yeah.
And you're not necessarily, this idea that I just have to find the person I want to be like and then follow them, and somehow by osmosis, like I'm just going to become, now I'm rich because you are, you have the car I want, so I'm going to attach on to you because I'm told that's how I build my network. That's not how you're going to make it. And I just think it's a lot of misinformation and shortcuts that a lot of people are trying to say, I can hang around the right people and get where I want to be. I don't actually have to roll up my sleeves and do the hard work. I don't have to figure things out. I don't have to learn hard life lessons. You've got to do it all yourself.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, no one's going to do it for you. You've got to figure some things out by yourself, including what works for you and what doesn't.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, cool. I'll do one final one here. So in your journey, right, as you were kind of coming up and maybe building your first couple businesses or first concepts, how important were sales and marketing to those businesses? Obviously these are things you had to kind of probably pick up on the fly. I don't know if you had any kind of background experience coming into these businesses. I'm assuming no. How important are those two? Because I think those are the two, obviously, that drive a business forward, right? You got to have money coming in, and people got to know about the product or the solution you have. So how important are those? And then for somebody who's starting, would you recommend maybe they pick up those skills and then dive into something, or what's kind of the play there?
Sales and marketing starts as soon as you're old enough to walk and talk. Yeah. You're like literally, whether it's trying to pick up girls or boys on the playground, you're selling yourself all day long, whether you understand it or not. So if at the very least, like a lot of people come to me and say certain things about where should I start or where should I do this, on yourself. Sales and marketing and all of that is really somebody believing in you. That's why they say a good salesperson can sell anything to anyone, because they have self-confidence, they know how to present themselves, they know how to talk, they know how to engage, they know how to figure out what the wants and needs of their customer is. And at the end of the day, a lot of times the person is really just, you're selling them on yourself.
Sure. More
than anything, especially when one of my first businesses was a service industry, right? So and dealt with international trade law. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just selling me. So how do I present myself? And there's a lot that goes into it, but you want to start off. Your foundations have to be good. Yeah. So who's my audience? How do I need to speak to them? How do I need to look? How do I need to act? How do I need to talk to them? What are their needs? How do I listen to them? I mean, sales and marketing is if you don't really know what to do or where to start, is the best place to start, because you're going to use that in every aspect of your life, in business or not. And it's one of the best ways to start making a lot of money too. Like a lot of salespeople in different industries, some of them make more money than the C-suite. So if you don't know what you're doing, the best thing to do is if you don't have any sales skills, study them. Yeah. You can learn sales skills. There's techniques and tactics. It's one of the best things you can do. It's going to help you in life in all aspects, not just in business. So it is, I think, one of the primary places to start if you don't know exactly where you want to be or what you want to be doing.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think a lot of people also, this is a huge problem I think a lot of young entrepreneurs face, or especially the ones who maybe haven't crossed their first million or 5 mil, is they try to reinvent the wheel. So I know you're a big fan of boring businesses, right? And even in
I am now.
Yeah, exactly.
Only because I've done some really sexy ones and took the L's.
Yeah.
And they were very exciting, and they were L's. They were losers. So
yeah. So like when you're trying to come up with something new and different, you might think that, hey, this is going to make me a millionaire, but entrepreneurship is you don't necessarily need to reinvent the wheel. Find something, and then exactly like you said, it's all about differentiating yourself. Mm-hmm. And people invest in you. People will buy because of you. So like, again, that interpersonal work on yourself, I think, is very important. But so for somebody out there who's kind of getting into entrepreneurship, what do you think of boring business versus trying to reinvent the wheel and make a new invention?
And I say boring businesses, and I'm a big believer in balance in life in all aspects, right? So to me, I look at things like, if I have my boring businesses and I know that they're going to be strong revenue generators, then I can be a little bit more playful in the more exciting businesses. I'm in the middle of starting an alcohol brand, a tequila brand, like not original. If you look at the numbers, not a high chance of success, but I believe in it. It's something that I like, and I think it's going to work, and I'm putting a lot of energy into it. But I also know that I've set up the boring businesses that are going to generate revenue, and at the end of the day, I'm not banking everything on just Treluso. Having to look at within yourself again and say, okay, what am I trying to achieve? If you've done well at making that first million and you're trying to break into the next 10 million, you have to stop and say, okay, I've had some success here. Is it truly scalable? Am I able to do it with my time, or do I need other people to help me? Because I guarantee you, to break into those other realms, like I had to learn that I can't do everything. I have to be able to delegate people. I've got to pick people and put them in the right positions to succeed and make it grow. A lot of entrepreneurs, once they have that success, they're unwilling to let go of the reins, and they're holding themselves back. So part of it is you've got to start being a good judge of talent and putting the right people into place to help you elevate if you're going to stay in that business, if the business is even truly scalable to the level you want it to be at. If it's not, then it's more important for you to get people in place to run it, and then you start working on your own vision to what else am I going to get into that's going to be the next thing or the next thing, and start making those decisions instead of just getting caught up in the same circle and not being able to grow.
I think a bad habit a lot of entrepreneurs have is they get married to one idea and they try to do a decade in one idea, not realizing that, again, business is all about different vehicles, right? So there's a certain vehicle you could jump into that will get you to whatever that goal is. So it's not about being married to that one idea, right? It's not about perseverance, because you could be smarter. You could make a smarter move, jump into a smarter business. Right. So it's really good to see that you believe in that. And
it's not always about that, like, coming up. We were watching Shark Tank last night, right? And it's a great show for a lot of, even stuff like that. You want to learn about business, watch Shark Tank. You learn about
Yeah.
presentations and ideas, and because a lot of people are want to come across that brand new idea and create a market.
Yeah.
Okay, you might. And if you're in love with something and have a passion for it, go for it. But the odds of you actually doing that by setting, oh, what can I invent to in order to become rich or successful, that's not usually how it comes. You have to be extremely passionate about it, and generally speaking, over time, the rest of it follows.
Yeah.
So if you're just like, I need to come up with the next best invention so I can, be rich, you're probably not going to get there. But if you know that inherently you are a good salesperson and love to sell, look at things that I would, if I was going to go into sales, I'm not going to sell cruises. I'm going to try to sell cruise ships. I'm not going to sell, airline tickets. I'm going to try to sell private jets. If I'm going to be in real estate, I'm going to try to sell, the $10 million house in Beverly Hills that Micah McDonald built and put on Selling Sunset. Cool plug. So, it's just those types of things to put yourself in a position to succeed in the best way possible. And be honest with yourself too on whether or not it's anything you want to be doing. So some point in time, if you're not passionate about it, don't enjoy it, don't care about it, you're gonna plateau and you're not gonna go anywhere after that.
Perfect. Yeah. Awesome. There you go.
See, towards the end, I was getting tired. Again, I'll probably next time I'll lower that weight so I can get good solid reps in. It's better to do good form, good reps, time under tension with a lower weight. Lift, like I said, smarter, not harder. This is the same concept here. If you don't have a lot of time, you're pressed for time, you still want to get that workout in, get a full back, full biceps, hit some abs, do supersets or do the 3 sets that I was doing. This is another one here. You're going to do the reverse back flies, but immediately jump into a bicep curl. And then we're going to do some crunches as well. So again, you'll knock out all these reps in a very short amount of time. There's never really any excuses. You can get a great workout in a very short amount of time if you put your head to it. Jump directly into the curls. Time under tension, keep it extremely slow. This is the hardest thing to do because my mind runs like crazy. Right now I'm thinking about one of the 3 dinners I got planned for later. Am I gonna go to Mastro's and eat a butter cake maybe? Go to SO Bagel, get another bagel sandwich, the salmon, capers, onions. These are the type of things I'm thinking about while I'm working out. See, especially towards the end, when I get fatigued, that's when that mind got to kick in and slow things down. You can translate that to any aspect of life and everything that you do. When you get fatigued a little bit, you got to work that much harder and smarter. I'm telling you, the gym, athletics, working out, it all translates perfectly into business and every aspect of life that you're in. So why not make it one of the cornerstones of the things that you build your foundation on? Discipline, fitness, hard work, dedication. Those need to be the pillars that you build yourself on in the business world. From there, you add different traits and characteristics, but you have to set up some core pillars and a core foundation that you're going to build off of. Keep in mind, there's so much information out there. I feel like there's almost too much information now. Everybody's different. Your body's different than mine. My body's going to react differently than yours. For me personally, I go on how do I look and how do I feel. So I optimize myself, and most of the time, keep in mind, I love to eat good. I love to go out and eat. I love to try food from all over the world. But the percentage of time I do that, the vast majority of the time, I'm eating the same food every day, natural, single ingredient food. If there's any process to it, I don't eat it. And I'm not eating several meals a day. My body isn't designed to sit there and just process food. It's not how my body works. So I don't eat before 12, not because intermittent fasting is the new trend. I just never have. If I eat in the morning, I'm chilling and I'm sluggish all day long. If I go to brunch in the morning, I'm not gonna do much of anything after. That's just how I am. So I don't eat until about 12, but I'll eat eggs, a little bit of cheese, butter, natural things, macadamia nuts, walnuts, things like that. Kimchi, fermented vegetables. I don't really like vegetables, but I'll eat kimchi, sauerkraut. I do eat some high protein cottage cheese here and there, Greek yogurt, all kinds of lean proteins, bison, beef, steak. Again, it's a lot of digestion for my body to eat steak, so maybe once a week at the most, probably more like once every 2 or 3 weeks, to be honest. So it's predominantly lean ground beef, fish, turkey, chicken. Those are the things that my body's optimized with and works the best. And then you can jump right into, so again, we did the reverse flies. Gonna do the biceps. It's always good to work a little bit of abs. These are one of the workouts that you work through quickly. So I saw those, I thought they were cool. So when you first, obviously I couldn't do those for the longest time. So to start, always just start with this. Try to get your knees together, heels together. Do like 15, but do them extremely slow. You'll feel your core starting to get stronger. Then you can go up higher, start working on those. And then before you know it, you're slinging those heels up too. Getting this core, getting these abs year round. Chasing summer all year round. Always gotta be ready. All right. So a big key also in all your workouts and just fitness in general is making sure you're taking the time to stretch and work on your mobility also. And all this takes a lot of time as well, but you don't want to be that person that's just in the gym and like your physique looks the part, but when it comes down to running 3 blocks, you can't run without tearing an ACL, which I've seen before. I've seen dudes get on the basketball court that are big muscles, and in the first play, they rip an ACL. You want to have mobility. You want to do a lot of functional training, movements. Tomorrow, I'm going to do a running like sprint workout routine. You know, if you're an adult who hasn't ran at full speed or almost full speed in months or years, get out there and start doing it. There's no excuse to not do some of those things, running, jumping, mobility. You've got to continue to do all that for your body to be able to function right. Plus I work out so much, I think it's, like I would just feel miserable if I didn't. Like with a demanding schedule, planes, cars. I mean, some days are, you know, they'll start at 3 o'clock in the morning and end, you know, at 10, 11, 12, midnight, depending on what's going on. Then you'll be on another plane to another city, and you do it again. And so you wake up in hotels, you don't even really remember where you're at. But if I don't work out, like I'll feel miserable. You just work on like stretching and mobility, like your body rewards you for the things that you do to help it out. I don't know what it'd be like to not like live like this every day. I feel like I'd be a less optimized, like watered down version of myself. I had a business meeting and another person, I was, what, 24, 25? I had a business meeting and the other guy that was meeting me said, the person described it, be like, hey, you'll see this tall, chunky dude. And that's how he described me. And I remember hearing that and being so defeated by it. I'm like, how, like, do you really want that to be your description going into a business meeting? And think about how that comes across to the person that you're meeting, that you're trying to get to work with you. Like, and little things like that is what drives, and that's like the dog in me being like, oh yeah, fuck you. Like, wait until let me work on this, exactly. Let me put some work in. The next time, and I remember a couple years later, because he didn't do business with me, the guy that met, actually he laughed about the chunky comment more than anything. He was probably in a little bit better shape than me at the time, not much. And I remember seeing him again a couple years later at a conference, and he didn't recognize me at first, because I dialed it all in, got back in the gym. I was like, never again is anyone going to describe me as the chunky dude. So I changed it, and the guy was, shook. He was mind blown by it. I think his wife was with him. He grabbed her a little bit tighter and kept him close. Yeah. So bro, I won't give him your name. I'm not going to give you any publicity, but I appreciate you. If it wasn't for comments like that, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at today. To me, that's the enemy in me. You know, I think Patrick Bet-David's book about keep your enemies closest. That's what it's all about. That's the enemy in me. Like, those are my enemies that have fired me up to do the most. You know, not my friends. I don't have the mentors. I have the enemies and the adversaries. That's what gives me the fire inside of me to be the best version of myself and to not ever accept anything less.